burns every spark of the fire. But cranes stand like gallows against skies painted blue. As mountain crowds drift in their slow-moving view. Shadows grow heavy like thick pools of tar, hiding the scars where the new buildings are. Sliding some ruins we left out of sight to watch how the city devours the light. Oh, the tower gleams bright like a tooth in the sun. The race for the kingdom has only begun. The roots twist and rise, breaking tiles below. The ledge is still hides an old smile we know. Yes, sunlight burns glass till it shines like a gem. While we mend all the tears at the hem. Horizon bleeds out in deep shades of rust. Commerce lays down in its blanket of dust. Long purple fingers of dust stretch their way, reaching for cracks where the children still play. Secrets leak out from the edge of the chart, like whiskers that pierce through a gentleman's heart. Shadows grow heavy like thick pools of tar, hiding the stars where the new buildings are. Sliding from ruins we left out of sight to watch how the city devours the light. Oh, the tower gleams bright like a tooth in the sun. The race for the kingdom has only begun. The roots twist and ride, breaking tiles below. The ledge is still hides an old smile we know. Yes, sunlight burns west till it shines like a tin. While we mend all the tears at the hem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlebots. Welcome to the MachinistM stream. I hope everybody's been having a good day so far, good evening so far. It's been a bit of a day, few events going on. Thought we would have a rocket launch today, but unfortunately it got scrubbed. I guess fortunately. SpaceX was gonna get ready to launch their brand new version 3 Starship, but something wasn't 100% copacetic, so they decided to try again tomorrow. So we'll see where that gets us. And then we got a little bit of news from a game I love, but has since fallen into disrepair and poor standing. So let's start out with a bit of YouTube. And that little bit of sad news. Okay, so my name is Bife. He is probably best known as the lore daddy of Destiny 2. And he is conveying the sad bit of news from today's this week at Bungie.
Greetings, Guardians. My name is Bife here. Well, today sucks. Ah, working so hard to make sure I wasn't dropping an expletive there. So, where to now? I think I should start with the most immediate stuff that concerns myself, if only so I can keep paying taxes and bills and make sure that Martin, my editor, still has a job. I am going.
It's been a bit. Life is sounding a little bit rough in this one, but given the news that just dropped, I can't really blame him.
To make sure that I am revamping the Patreon immediately. That is something that I've been working on and sort of figuring out in the background. I'm not finished making content, I am still making videos. I'm also working and have been working on big projects outside of Destiny for a long time. This was part of a planned wider pivot that has kind of been going on in the background for some years. I've always quietly held out hope that Destiny would continue and have a resurgence, but yeah, I suppose that news is maybe not so. I'll talk about it in a second. All I can ask is if you have the time and the inclination, and if it's of interest, please take the time and watch and engage and comment and like and be here with me as I tell stories. A few years
Life has been a great storyteller for the Destiny 2 community. He didn't get the title of lore daddy for nothing. He honestly, he brought me back to Destiny 2 after a little bit. I wasn't really pulled in by the what was it, Shadowkeep launch way back when, right after Bungie finally cut the cord with Activision. I would never touch Destiny 2 while they were with Activision. I've not liked that company since what they did to Infinity Ward back with Modern Warfare 2. Ancient history for people who don't know. But Activision has kind of been. But Bife covered pretty much the extensive span of lore in the Destiny universe, and his smooth British accent has conveyed the story very well over the years. Uh, so I can understand why he's maybe even more disappointed with the recent news than I would be.
ago, when Final Shape came out, I basically made a call to action for myself, and I said, hey, you know, I'm a storyteller. I plan on keeping that particular notion for certain. Aside from anything else, I don't know what to do with myself. The thing that I have learned over all these years is that I belong in a place where I feel like I belong, and I feel like I belong when I'm telling you all stories. All I can do now is implore you all to just keep my content in mind, and for that matter, keep the content of other creators in mind whenever you see one of us out in the wild. There are going to be a lot of people who are smaller than I am who are also making Destiny content that do not have an easy time of transitioning compared to what I'm doing. Please keep them in mind. Please, I beg of you, for their sake, keep them in mind, but also, graciously, I would ask that you keep me in mind as well. We're all going to be moving on to other things if this truly is the end, but let's talk about that for a second. To be quite frank, Destiny deserved better than this. This is a place that I have called home.
Honestly, Destiny deserved better than the last year and a half, 2 years of content. arguably the last 3 years of content. But that's the unfortunate nature of the industry right now.
At my lowest, this game and its community was there for me. And the reality is that I pulled myself back from the worst possible mistake a person can ever make because I felt like I had a place to belong. That's what this game is. In a very literal sense, it's the reason I am here. It's the reason I'm alive to tell you everything. And knowing now that through cynical machinations built primarily on the idea of building the wealth of just a few, it is being put into this state of what at best I hope is hibernation. It sickens me. I have to reconcile that whilst I'm so thankful for the journey, there is also a part of me that is thoroughly angry. But I don't want to dwell too much on that because that's been done to death. And the parsons of it all will hopefully get their recompense someday. All I can say for now is that I hope it was worth it. Will there be a Destiny 3 though? I don't know. Bungie's article makes a point of stating that they're moving on to other incubation projects and that other things are going on. I don't think I've heard of anything from under the wire of what that is, but if they're talking about new incubation projects, there is a chance it's Destiny 3. I don't think it's guaranteed, though. Destiny represents a pretty big piece of Bungie's IP, but I mean, I don't think that that's entirely what it is, and I don't think that's entirely where things are going to go.
And considering I don't think there's anybody left from the original Bungie dev team, or well, from the original Bungie or the Destiny dev team. They've all kind of either gone their separate ways or been run out by management who got in there.
But that's me spitballing. I have no idea. Ultimately, I really, really hope that there is something in the future. And if this is the end of Destiny 2 so that development can begin on Destiny 3, I wish nothing but luck to the many developers who will work on it. And I hope that too many people don't lose their jobs, because inevitably there is going to be that sucker punch of an announcement at some point, I'm sure, that developers have been laid off. Because ultimately, yeah, they're moving on to something else. I don't know. I pray that everybody who is currently in the Destiny team gets a new thing they can work on, and that one of these incubation projects can become something that they will be able to hold on to, and that everybody keeps their jobs. I don't know if that is the case. If there is going to be a Destiny 3, it won't be for some years. But I really desperately hope that if they do make one, that they learn from the many, many, many mistakes that they've made over the years. I think it's also important to acknowledge, much as this will be something some people don't want to hear, particularly those who have cried for the death of things that other people love for years, that there was a lot of good that was made with this game. I've made incredible memories. I know that there are certainly moments where this game has moved me to tears. There are moments where this game has brought me some of the greatest laughter and joy. There are friendships in this game that I will be so glad that I had. There are moments where it astounds me how much this game gave me. Because I belonged in this game's community, I went to DestinyCon, then GuardianCon, then GCX. And because I was going to those conventions, I met my wife. And here we are now, years later. It's mad to think.
I did not realize but life was that deep into it. So yeah, this is heartbreaking for guys like him, where this has been his entire career for the last probably 8 years full time, and he's been, well, it's 12 years since the original. Oh wait, 2014. Yeah, 12 years since the original Destiny came out. Uh, and yeah, for me, yeah, I did walk away from Destiny for a whole couple of years now. just because the direction, the last content I played was a rip-off of, or well, not a rip-off, but well, the new mechanic was pretty much a rip-off of the morph ball stages from Metroid Prime, which was neat, but then on top of it, they basically gutted our gear system. So all this gear that we spent years grinding for, well, we're changing things. Fuck you. Go grind some more, plebs. So that's pretty much when I put it down. And then they did the Renegade and everything. That was pretty much Star Wars crowbarred into Destiny 2. And it just was gross. And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of, okay, no, I'm a huge fan of pre-sequel Star Wars, pre-Disney Star Wars. Yeah, they had, The Mandalorian had its bright spots, but those sequel movies were garbage. Just the first one was pretty much a rehash, a bad rehash of the original. And then they were a meandering mess of poor writing and uninterested directors ever after. So yeah, and then yeah, they go and try and cram it into Destiny 2. It was just, at that point it was a money grab that I was no longer interested in giving money to. So I put it down. I even uninstalled it from my PC. That's how little I wanted to go back to it. Even though I love the gameplay loop. I love the action. I love the platforming. But once they screwed over the story, why should I come back? Like they made mistakes, and the people who made the mistakes left, and new people came on with. I doubt they had even the same level of passion for it. It was just another job. Yeah, they may act like, oh, this is a wonderful thing, but this wasn't their baby. This is something they inherited, and they were going to make their cash off of.
I think that's a journey I've been on. I rose to the point where now we have 1 million subscribers on a YouTube channel, which is not something everybody gets to say. I've been able to be there with all of you telling stories, and I've never felt more privileged to be able to sit there and create some of the content that I've made on this game, which some of it I really do feel incredibly proud of.
Yeah. Bife and several others got together and they did a whole, I think it's an hour-long video, pretty much telling the story of the Hive faction of Destiny 2, which is the lore. The lore in Destiny was vast and just wild and wonderful and hopeful and dark, and it was great. Unfortunately, a lot of it was reading, not a lot of it was told within the game. And then where it was told within the game, it was soon locked behind a vault door with their season system. But yeah, it was great video that they had. They got people to animate it, and this was before AI really took off too. So it was all hand animated, CGI hand animated, but hand animated nonetheless. And Like it's probably one of Bife's crowning achievements, along with his 3-hour recap of the history of Destiny up until X point.
So, I guess there's another thing, which is, will I make more Destiny content? And I mean, maybe. I think that as time goes on, if things quieten down, there'll be a big appetite for Destiny retrospectives. If that happens, I'm definitely going to see about making some of them, especially as the guy who has a ton of lore knowledge. I can give some touches that other people can't. I think that if I am going to make a big retrospective, it'll definitely be at some point later down the line, though. And at that point, I'll give it more of a personal touch. I also want to make at least 1 or 2 videos at the very end to sort of cover all the loose ends that may or may not be tied up in this final update. And after that, well, if there is a Destiny 3, I'll see you then. For now, though, I really do want to say thank you. This is not the end, and I am going to keep making content. I know that there are moments in time where people have desperately wanted me to touch on other things, and I'm going to do that. For context, the next big project that I was working on, and have actually been working on for well over a couple of months at this point, is a massive retrospective on Baldur's Gate 3, now that there's 3 years after its launch, almost to the point of making this video. And the
Holy
can ask
crap,
is,
has Baldur's Gate been out that long?
me how much this game gave me. Because I belonged in this game's community, I went to after enjoy
Oh,
perspectives. If that happens, I'm definitely going to see about making some of them, especially as the guy who has a ton of lore knowledge. I can give. They wanted me to touch on other things, and I'm going to do that.
here
Plan
we go.
is to release that whenever it's ready.
No.
It will launch almost to the point of making this video and the date of releasing it. My plan is to release that whenever it's ready. It will probably be in a few months, but that was going to be my next big multi-hour video project. For the rest of it, yeah, I don't know. We're going to see what happens.
Yeah, Bife definitely knows how to do the multi-hour. Again, he's covered multiple times the history of Destiny from Destiny 1 to where Destiny 2 was in the DLCs and seasons. And I think the last video was somewhere around 5 or 6 hours long. So definitely something you put it on and fold laundry to.
Happens. I don't know where things go from here. And this is me speaking personally right now, but stay with me. I am not done telling stories, and I am not done. If you're willing to be patient with me through that weird transition point, I will be there and we will make something new of this and something better. As for everyone who has enjoyed the universe of Destiny, and as for everyone who, like me, felt like there was a place to belong there, I hearken back to some of those words from an old Bungie game that really started all of this for me, which was Halo Reach. The final chapter of Halo Reach is called Lone Wolf. At least that's the final mission, but the final chapter card reads, "There'll be another time." I hope there will be. For everything. This is a universe that defies the expectation of almost everything else. It's a place where medieval knights can exist alongside pirates. It's a place where dragons and high-tech warriors will face off against each other. It's a place of genuinely infinite possibilities, and it's a place that deserved so much better. I am not going to sit here and say that this isn't terrible, terrible news. For what it's worth, the final update does look fantastic, and I really do hope that this isn't the end and that this is not a hibernation point that ends up being permanent. But I will say that for all of the pain and all of the chaos and everything else that happened, this has been a privilege. It's been worth it. I don't know what much more to say than that. Support people who previously covered Destiny. Help us as we transition to doing other new things, and thank you so much. I will be here. Please don't forget about all the stories that have been told, all the things we've learned together. I will be there for what I think is the next incredible journey that we can all take. I think the rest of the Destiny crowd will be there too. I wish there was a better point that I could end this on, but I really don't think there is. This isn't the last you've heard about Destiny. I said I'll tie up the loose ends. I'll see what I can do to wrap it all up with a neat little bow. But for the moment, thank you so much. Please consider holding out for what I have next. Ad Astra. My name is Bife, and I will see you Starside.
Oh, that was a little bit more emotional than I figured it was going to be. I thought he was just going to cover the news, but very and heartbreaking sentiment there for Bife. I'll be there for him. I might even be there for Destiny. I think it's June 6th is going to be when they come out with the last update. So I'll maybe check in on that. Maybe stream it too. I'll have to see about what the avatar does for my streaming. So check out, I highly recommend anybody who's ever been interested in Destiny 2, check out Bife and his lore videos. He's covered a lot. He's covered pretty much everything that's happened in the game itself. He's covered all kinds of stuff that's dropped in the lore books that those that aren't inclined for it wouldn't read otherwise, which it's a real shame because there's some really good writing in there. And yeah. We'll see you. Was it Paradistra ad Astra, Bife? See you Starside. Let's see if something a little bit more of a palate cleanser. Yeah, the complex medical part machining as an art, or is an art. Complex medical part machining is an art. Oh, look at that chip.
Today we're going to be talking about bone screws.
Oof.
Now I promise we're not going to be machining bone screws. We have plenty of videos on that on our channel. Check them out if you haven't seen them already. But bone screws are an important piece of equipment on the medical field. Just ask anyone who's broken a few bones. They probably have some inside of their body. Thankfully I've never needed them. Hopefully it stays that way. That's fingers crossed. But have you ever wondered what kind of tool is used to put those bone screws into your body? It's obviously not some screwdriver that you can get at the Home Depot, but a much more specialized tool.
I would argue that probably an overpriced DeWalt. Maybe Makita.
Today I'm going to be making a cannulated Torx driver for a bone screw. This particular one is like a bit that would go into a surgical driver in the hospital. What makes it cannulated is the center hole running through it. That allows you to run a guide wire or a K-wire through the bit and through the bone screw. That wire helps guide the bone screw through its intended path into your body, so it can be placed accurately and kept in from going in crooked. Like machining, putting in a bone screw into your
Yeah, because sticking in a screw like that crooked, it's not like you can back it out and try again. Ugh.
body is a very precise operation with little room for error. I'm running this part today on the Tornos GT32. We're going to be running it out of 875 7/8
Oh, that is a sexy looking setup.
diameter 304 stainless steel. I'm also going to be running one out of brass like we usually do, so that way I can run the part dry. The 304 needs coolant. There is one exception on running it dry, which I'll explain in a minute, because we're going to have to run coolant on one tool. I'm going to start off by facing the part with a CCGT insert, and then once that face is flush, we're going to run our two drills. We have two Kendrill Micros, 78 thousandths diameter, so they're very small. One's a 2x D drill, and one is a 20x D drill. We're going to start off by running the 2x D drill first as a pilot hole, and then afterwards, we're going to run the big 20x D drill. I need to run cool.
Now you need to do that because if you do it with the long one right away, you could snap it right off, and that gets expensive on tooling. You also might not get a perfectly centered drill hole, which also not good, and especially something like this.
Coolant on the 20x D Kendrill Micro to make sure that chips don't pack up inside of that hole, since it's a very small hole, and that way I can make sure that the tool isn't going to break. After we have our small hole put into the part, then I'm going to recall the first tool, the CCGT insert, and we're going to rough out the front of the part. I have this roughing pass split into two, so we're going to rough out the first half of the part. Then I'm going to come in with another CCGT insert, and we're going to finish the first half of the part. After that, we can start milling out the Torx feature on the front of the part. I'm using a 94 thousandths ball mill from Kennametal. It's a 2-flute ball mill, and this tool actually has a bigger shank at the bottom where it's being held. So the base of the tool is bigger. That gives us some added stability so that the part doesn't shatter. After we put in the full torque feature, we go around the part 6 times, then we can start on the second half of the part. We recall up our CCGTs, both the rougher and the finisher, to do the second half of the part. After we rough and finished out all the turn surfaces that we can reach on this side of the part, we're going to come in with a dual lock Harvey 1 end mill, and we're going to put the flats on both sides of the part. After we put in those two flats, we can finally do our pick-off operation and part it off. I'm using a 118 wide part-off tool, and it's going to grab the part it off, send it to the second side, and then while op 1's running, op 2 is going on. On the second op, I just have two tools. I have a really small CCGT that is roughing and finishing the second side of the part. And then afterwards, I have a 1/8 end mill, 125 diameter. This is a Harvey 1 TE 4-flute end mill, and this is putting in the pockets on both sides of the part. After it's done with all the milling work, it then goes and ejects the part, and we have a part complete.
And since he's running it on a Swiss machine, a Swiss machine is made specifically for turning out as many parts as possible in the shortest amount of time. So basically you load up, I think the Tornos here can take an 8-foot rod of material, and basically it turns that 8-foot rod of material into finished parts. They're very cool machines. And this is just a little one. They had a bigger one where it had 8 spindles. So it could be running 8 parts at the same time, which is just a wild idea in terms of production.
So let's talk about the drills for a moment. If you remember a while ago, my father put out a video on how to have success when you drill with long drills. I do something very similar on this part. If you haven't seen that video, check it out because it's super informative and it sets you up to have success when you're doing long drills.
Long drilling is a pain in the ass. Because it's, you start getting material bound up in the flutes, and it binds up and hardens, and especially materials like aluminum, and I suspect titanium is an absolute nightmare because titanium is weird. It's gummy, and instead of taking heat, it puts the heat into the tool and wears things out faster. Aluminum is gummy by itself, but it's a relatively soft material compared to something like steel.
Drill it. I have two drills here. One is a 2x D drill, one is a 20x D drill. These are both Kendrill micros. They're exactly the same except for the drill length, so they have the same angle, the same diameter. And we start the hole out with this 2x D drill, using it as a pilot drill. So we start the hole, go as far as this drill can go. I'm running it at 5,000 RPM with a feed rate of 0.8 per revolution. And then after I run this small drill, I come in with the long 20x D drill. This drill I need to run with coolant through to flush out any chips. We started at a slower feed rate just until I reach where this drill finished off.
So I think that drill, it's got holes in it so that it runs the coolant down the length of the drill, and so it can blast any chips out of the hole, out of the flutes. Which that's where you start. You can run into some problems.
And then we engage it, go full feed, 0.8 per revolution, 5,000 RPM. We go all the way in. I have a slight dwell at the bottom of the hole, and then we pull out the drill, flushing out any chips that are remaining. The hole comes out perfect every time. I know my dad did his video with the 40x D drill, which was much bigger. It had a bigger diameter. But these 2mm drills, they can be pretty sketchy because of how flimsy they are. So I'm glad it worked, and I didn't have any issues when I did that. All right, so let's run the rest of the part. All right, so we got the part. It looks good. Let's go check it out in inspection. What I'm actually going to do is we're going to zero it out on the face here. That feature looks good. I'm going to run a pin through it now. So let's get this part off of here. Let's check the hole now. So we'll run our go pin through. Seems good. We'll run the no go. Check both sides. It's perfect. Happy with it? Now I just need to find somebody to test it on. So that's our cannulated Torx driver. I'm really happy with how it came out. That GT32, you can make anything on it. Hey, if you haven't already, make sure you check out MFG Connect. We revamped the whole thing. It just got a new update. It's available on all platforms, and it's an easy way to get in touch with me, Barry, and the other guys here at Titans of CNC. And also check out the Titans of CNC website and store. You need machines and tools anyway at your machine shop, so why not get it through us and support a good cause like free education? So check us out, and I'll see you next time.
Definitely cool organization. I've done some of their course stuff, not as much as I want to, but I'm kind of one of those people that I don't do things unless I actually have the capability of utilizing them. So I've done a bunch of the CAD courses or CAD certifications. They're fairly simplistic, I think. All except that the last one on the CAD, it's for some reason I can't get it to work right. But then they've got courses for running the manufacturing side of thing, and then the actual CNC thing. So basically it's the you make the part with CAD. You make the program for the CNC machine with CAM, computer aided manufacturing, and then you can go take that to a CNC machine and machine out the part. And I think they got it set up so you can machine out the part and send it to them, and they'll check it over and say, oh yeah, you're good, here's a certification. You can put that on your resume or put it up on their website or put it on your whatever it is to get notice that, yeah, you're a real machinist. Come pay you money. I'll link that in the chat. And since we're kind of on the medical tangent, which that kind of worked out funny, let's take a trip over to Dr. Chris Rayner's channel and see what he has to say about the latest in exoskeletons.
In Elysium, Matt Damon gets a full exoskeleton bolted directly into his spine, his ribs, and his femur. And I watched that scene the way most people watch horror movies. Because I'm an orthopedic surgeon, and I know exactly what happens to bone when you run that kind of load through it. But here's what's actually interesting. The sci-fi nightmare of Elysium is separated from what engineers are building right now by a lot less distance than you think. Real exoskeletons exist. Real people wear them. And the biomechanics of how they help, or fail, are far more complicated than Hollywood ever gets right.
Yeah, it's his whole body there.
Yeah, it's really moving this time.
It feels like, isn't there a cartoon or something where the pants got taken over?
Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It feels like that.
I'm not gonna lie. Exoskeletons and power armor have been a dream of mine to work on for a very long time. I would love to get my hands on some of these things.
Today I'm going to break down the actual mechanics of lower limb exoskeletons. What changes at the hip, the knee, and the ankle when terrain shifts. Why a hip-only system solves a completely different problem than a knee-only system. And why getting those joints wrong doesn't just waste effort, it can create new injuries. I'm even going to try one out in this video. So this is with minimal assist. And this is with full assist. This is the surgeon's breakdown of what exoskeletons actually do to the human body. Let's get into it. Before we get to the real stuff, let's do 30 seconds of why the sci-fi versions are medically absurd and why that.
Okay. First off, the system in Elysium is not power armor. It is an exoskeleton. Power armor needs actual freaking armor. An exoskeleton can work without the armor.
Actually matters for understanding what real systems have to solve. In Elysium, the suit is anchored to bone with surgical screws.
Man, yo, this is gonna hurt. Yeah, bitch, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt good.
Okay.
On paper, that's not crazy. We do anchor hardware to bone all the time. But the forces involved in powered armor are not orthopedic screw forces. We're talking about industrial loads transmitted through a suit that weighs hundreds of pounds, being redirected through titanium bolts into cortical bone that was designed to handle axial compression. Not shear stress from a hydraulic limb that's accelerating faster than your nervous system can react. That distinction, shear versus compression, is actually the first fundamental concept in real exoskeleton design. And it's why every serious wearable system has to solve the same problem the Elysium engineers ignored. How do you transmit mechanical assistance to a human body without creating new failure points in the process? The answer, it turns out, is all about joints. Specifically,
That's the wrong way to be designing this sort of stuff. You don't want to be transmitting the force to the human body. You want to be transmitting the human motion to the exoskeleton.
which joints you assist, how much, and when. To understand exoskeletons, you need to understand what walking actually costs. And most people think walking is free. Newsflash, it's not. Every single step is a controlled fall. Your body is constantly catching itself, redirecting momentum, and resetting for the next stride. The muscles doing that work are the ones that get fatigued, degrade, and become injured. And the joints those muscles cross are the ones we need to protect. On flat ground at a comfortable pace, the work is roughly distributed like this. The ankle is actually doing most of the positive work. It's your main push-off engine at the end of each stance phase, generating energy to propel you forward. The hip is responsible for pulling the leg forward during swing and for stabilizing the pelvis during single leg stance. The knee is largely absorbing and redirecting energy. It's more of a shock absorber than a power source on flat ground. That balance changes dramatically the moment you change terrain, and that's the single most important insight of this entire video. If you remember anything, remember that. Flat ground is not what human legs were optimized for. They were optimized for uneven, variable terrain. And the moment terrain changes, the entire load distribution shifts across all three joints, which means an assistive system that works beautifully on flat ground can be completely wrong for a hill. On flat ground, the biomechanical goal is efficiency. How do you move your body forward at the lowest metabolic cost? And the answer is you use pendulum mechanics and elastic energy storage. Your leg swings like an inverted pendulum. Your tendons store and return elastic energy. Your ankle provides the final push. The whole system is actually remarkably efficient, but efficiency here is a relative term. For a warehouse worker during 12 hours of shifts, even a 10% reduction in metabolic cost is enormously meaningful. On flat ground, the hip is the primary target for assistance because it governs swing. Getting the leg repositioned quickly and correctly sets up the entire next stance phase. Research on hip assist exoskeletons has shown genuine reductions in the metabolic cost of walking. And
A metabolic cost reduction of 7.2%. Plus or minus 2.6, so almost 10% there.
this is why the hip is often considered the entry-level win for wearable assistance. Go uphill and everything changes. Now you are not just maintaining forward momentum, you are actively working against gravity to raise your body's center of mass with every step. The metabolic cost goes up substantially and the joint contributions shift. On incline, the hip and ankle become even more dominant. The hip is now not just repositioning the leg, it's actively extending with force to drive you up the slope. The ankle is working harder at push-off to generate that extra propulsion. And both of those joints are working over a greater range of motion than they do on flat ground. This is
ROM is range of motion. If you're struggling with that. I struggled with it for a second too, but
where hip-only assistance makes the strongest case. If you can offload some of that hip extensor demand, you reduce fatigue in the gluteus maximus and hamstrings, and you reduce the compressive load on the lumbar spine that comes with repeated forceful hip extension under load. The knee, interestingly, is actually doing less positive work on uphill walking compared to what you might expect. It's still critical for stability, but it's not the main propulsive engine on a slope. That matters when we get to system design. Downhill is where the biomechanics become genuinely dangerous if your assistive system gets it wrong. On descent, the job is no longer propulsion. The job is control. Your muscles have to act eccentrically, which means they are generating force while lengthening, which is metabolically expensive and mechanically stressful. The knee in particular has to absorb enormous amounts of energy during the loading phase of each step.
kind of puts a different perspective on it's easier going downhill.
Downhill. Think about what happens to your quads when you walk down a long mountain trail. They're not just sore the way a sprint leaves you sore. They're sore in that deep, delayed onset way because eccentric muscle work causes microscopic fiber damage. That's not a flaw in your body. That's your body doing its job correctly. But it's also exactly where an exoskeleton has an opportunity to intervene. A knee assist system on downhill terrain can take some of that eccentric load off the quadriceps and redirect it through the device. It can also improve alignment during that loading phase, which reduces the shear forces on cartilage and the compressive forces through the patellofemoral joint. This is why I said knee-only assistance is more niche as a standalone system, but becomes genuinely compelling in context. If your use case is primarily downhill terrain, controlled descent, or someone with existing patellofemoral pathology, then the knee is exactly where you want to be helping.
Intelligent enough to start opposing some resistance, so it's helping me go downhill and not do so much effort in stopping. Particular scenario, I feel tension here, like it's actually trying to stop my knees from going too far forward, applying basically brake pressure instead of me trying to do it with my own knees, which is very smart.
Before we get to full exoskeletons, it's worth acknowledging that humans have been building crude assistive systems for as long as we've been walking. Two most common ones are trekking poles and braces. Trekking poles are genuinely the most effective low-tech exoskeleton device ever made. They redistribute load from the lower extremity to the upper extremity, reduce knee joint forces doing downhill walking, and improve balance during uneven terrain. Studies have shown that poles can
And they're essentially sticks, so find the right tree, you get them for free.
and reduce compressive knee force by a meaningful amount on descent, which for anyone with knee pathology is not a trivial benefit. Braces work differently. A brace cannot generate power. It can alter joint alignment, reduce unwanted motion, and in some cases, offload a specific compartment of the knee joint by creating a valgus or a varus moment. An unloader brace for medial compartment knee arthritis, for example, is literally shifting load from the damaged part of the joint surface to a healthier area. The distinction matters because it frames what an exoskeleton is actually adding. Poles redistribute load passively and proximally. Braces redistribute load passively and locally. Exoskeletons can actively generate moment at the joint, which means they can do things the other two systems cannot. But they can also do damage that the other two cannot if the assistant's timing or magnitude is wrong. Which brings me to the part of this video that made me want to make it in the first place, because I've been consulting on something that puts all of this into practical design terms. This video is sponsored by Vastnaut, and what they're working on is exactly the question I've been building toward. What does a system that covers both the knee and hip actually give you that a single joint system does not? The answer from a biomechanics standpoint is terrain robustness. A hip-only system is excellent on flat ground and uphill, where propulsion and swing assistance are the priority. A knee-only system earns its value on descent and in high-load single-leg stance. But the real world does not pick one terrain and stay there.
That definitely provides a lot of support. It's certainly helping quite a lot when I'm walking up the hill. And when you're walking down a hill, it certainly assists your legs by taking some of that eccentric load off of your muscles. Like if I was squatting here and lifting weight, buddy, it's just generating extra force.
Which makes me wonder just how much extra output this thing has. Definitely gonna have to look them up later.
A combined hip and knee system, what you might call a 4x4 drivetrain for human legs, is not simply twice the benefit of either alone. It's a qualitatively different proposition because the hip and the knee interact. Assisting the hip changes how the knee loads. Controlling the knee changes how much the hip has to compensate. When you're managing both, you can tune the system for terrain in a way that's not possible with a single joint target. There's also good evidence that multi-joint assistance can outperform single joint strategies in terms of metabolic reduction. Not always additively, because the joints share load.
Reduces metabolic cost of walking by 33 to 42%. Holy crap. So you can go almost twice as far on that than you could unassisted, assuming the battery on the device lasted that long.
But the ceiling is higher and the versatility is genuinely broader. The trade-off, as always, is complexity, mass, and cost. But for applications where terrain varies and performance consistency matters,
imagine every step feeling lighter, not because the mountain shrank, but because you evolved.
Vastnaut are building in this direction, and I'll put their information in the description below if you want to follow what they've been developing.
And it just launched on Kickstarter, so don't miss the insane early bird deals. Link is in the description.
Now, let's get back to the biomechanics. I want to spend a few minutes on something that doesn't get covered enough in the technology coverage of exoskeletons. What happens when the assist timing is wrong? Every joint in the lower limb has a natural moment profile through the gait cycle. The hip, knee, and ankle each go through specific patterns of extension, flexion, loading, and push-off that are timed to within milliseconds. When an exoskeleton assists correctly, it augments those moments at the right point in the cycle. When it assists incorrectly, even by a fraction of a second, it can do the opposite of what you want. A mistimed knee extension assist during the swing phase, for example, can cause the foot to catch on the ground. That's not just inefficient, that's a fall risk. In a healthy person, that's embarrassing. In a post-surgical patient or an elderly user, that's a fracture. If a hip assist system drives the leg forward too aggressively, you increase the demand on the ankle at terminal stance. That can spike ankle joint loading in exactly the patients who might already have ankle pathology. You have traded one problem.
So busted ankle, busted knee, this would just aggravate it. Or if you're healthy and using this and the timing is off, you could contribute to excessive wear on your knee or your ankle or injure yourself, which you don't want that either.
Problem for another. And then there's the spine. Every time a lower limb exoskeleton creates an asymmetric force, whether from misalignment, unequal bilateral assistance, or a mismatch with natural joint axes, the trunk and the lumbar spine compensate. That compensation might not hurt immediately, but over thousands of steps, it will. Stress fractures, facet joint degeneration, sacroiliac strain, these are the injuries you get from biomechanical misalignment at scale. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you off the technology. The engineering standards for modern medical and industrial exoskeletons are actually quite good, and the field has learned a lot from early failures.
Here we see the electrically powered machine built into the form of a human skeleton.
I'm saying it because
Wow, that was some archive footage. I'm happy to see stuff like that, and to see the perspective of a surgeon on this. It's like you said, it's not something that we get to see a lot of. We get to see the demonstrations when the military contractors roll out their latest greatest toy. But other than that, we're not seeing and not thinking about the impacts down the line.
Because understanding what can go wrong is the clearest way to understand why joint-specific design and terrain-specific tuning matter so much. This is not a solved problem. It's an actively evolving engineering challenge that happens to live at the intersection of orthopedics, material science, and control systems.
I'm Brent Rose, and I'm about to pay for my orthopedist's Hawaiian vacation. 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah, baby. All day.
So where does this go from here? Because the technology trajectory is genuinely exciting, even from a surgical standpoint.
If I make a little effort in my elbow, our sensors and software understand my intent and start moving my elbow upwards. If I stop trying, the elbow motor stops.
It's just assists you. It's not like stopping you from doing anything. It's at your own will.
If it's helping people get out there and get more active than they might have been otherwise, then I think it's a positive thing.
The current generation of exoskeletons is mostly open loop or...
Yes, if we can... People who are reduced mobility, it's a spectacular technology. Like wheelchair-bound people, they have so many more added health, negative health outcomes from being stuck in that wheelchair for so long, that if you could even get them standing, even if they're paraplegic, paralyzed from the spine down, you get them be able to stand. To just to stand helps them immensely with various digestion issues, various blood flow issues, because even though the nerves might be severed from the legs, you still have vasculature, you still have blood moving through them, and even just some motion, even if it's not being electrically triggered by the brain, can help move and circulate blood through the body, which will help with clearing out toxins, and overall improve the health of the patient. And then and it even helps them mentally because they're not stuck at belt level with the rest of humanity. They can stand up with everyone else.
Or semi-adaptive. They assist based on predetermined patterns or simple sensor feedback. The next generation is moving toward real-time biomechanical modeling, where the suit is continuously estimating joint loads, anticipating terrain changes, and adjusting assistance accordingly.
And that adaptive, that's where this new wave of AI is really going to shine. Because you're going to be able to, I don't think we're getting to the point where we don't need anything much more than a cell phone or a logic processor on the level of a cell phone. You purely dedicate that to an AI agent, it could run probably all the calculations required for an exoskeleton, at least a lower limb exoskeleton. You might need 2 to go upper body as well.
Think of it as the difference between cruise control and a fully autonomous vehicle. Current systems are cruise control. The future is a suit that knows you're about to step off of a curb before your foot even leaves the ground.
Buddy, the assistance feels natural and the algorithm avoids those timing issues. Okay. Whoa. And this is kind of like a next generation model that I was talking about because it reads torque and movement patterns to naturally adapt to the terrain.
There's also work being done on soft exosuits, fabric-based systems that use cable actuation rather than rigid frames. These don't provide the same peak forces as rigid systems, but they're lighter, more comfortable, and far easier to align with natural joint axes because they conform to the body rather than constraining it. And at the far end of the spectrum, the Elysium end, frankly, there is active research on osteo-integrated prosthetics and neural interface limb control that will eventually blur the line between assistive and augmentative technology.
Getting closer to that cyberpunk future. Not quite plug and play mantis limbs, but baby steps.
That's still decades away from mass deployment, but the surgical principles involved are ones I've already started thinking about in my practice.
Looks like a video game is some of the most delicate surgery a doctor can perform.
These tools allow us to use our mastery in a level of precision and a level of dedication that was not previously possible.
So, back to Matt Damon getting a suit drilled into his spine. The reason that scene is disturbing, and why I couldn't watch it without commentary in my head, is not just that it looks painful as heck, it's that it represents the exact wrong mental model for how you integrate mechanical assistance within the human body.
Agreed. Very much agreed. An exoskeleton is an augmentation that you get into, not put into you.
The human body is not a chassis you bolt hardware to. It's a specific system with specific load tolerances, joint mechanics, and compensation patterns that change with every step, every slope, and every kilogram of gear you add. Real exoskeleton design is the art of augmenting that system without fighting it. Hip assistance on the uphill, knee control on the descent, coordination between them on the terrain that matters most, and enough engineering humility to know that when you get it wrong, the body absorbs the consequences. That's the biomechanics of exoskeletons. If you found this useful, another video going deeper into joint mechanics and orthopedic surgery myths is coming soon. And if you want to follow the actual engineering developments in lower limb assistance, I've linked Vastnaut's work in the description. I'll see you on the next one. Otherwise, as always, that's been a word from Dr. Chris Rayner, not your everyday ortho, where we see one, do one, teach one, and occasionally we wear one.
I really enjoy Dr. Chris Rayner. He's got lots of great insights. Definitely check out his channel if you're interested in medical stuff. I actually saw him first when he did if you didn't catch it, he was doing a breakdown on what's required and what we could do for the Space Marine, the 40K Space Marine augmentations. So he goes and he breaks down the secondary organs and various biological augmentations and the surgeries involved, and it's a very in-depth and interesting look at it. So it's, yeah, he's a super serious doctor, but he's also a huge nerd. Let's just check out this Kickstarter here. Vastnaut. Holy crap, they blew past that in a hurry. They were only wanting 52,000 and they're up to 1 million and, oh, 1.2 million. And they still got 21 days to go. So a 4x4 combo, Explorer combo, $2,000. That's not a bad price. Sorry. 400-watt motor, that's pretty good. Carbon fiber. 4.5 hours battery life. Smart battery carry bag. 4x4 and dual mode motor configuration. HKD. Why does that sound like Hong Kong dollar? Might be Hong Kong, or maybe it's kroner. Okay, so the full ups, that's hip and knee for 2,100 American. Yeah, okay, yeah, I think HK. And then dual motor, which is just the hip, for 900. And what's the difference between this one and the other one? 4x4, E6. Or is this just the the Explorer combo? Oh, okay, $13.99. This is $12.99. So I guess the other one gets a extra battery. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what their what the differences are here, because they're all saying the same thing for motor, hip and knee support, 400 watts. Oh, two battery charging hubs, 2 batteries. Okay, they're just adding extra batteries and stuff onto it. Six batteries. 5. Definitely interesting and really not a bad price for what they are. I think I've seen them for like $5,000. I'm up for $10,000. This is definitely the least expensive I've seen them. Okay, I'll link that too. Okay, one more thing, so I can. Got a little bit of a rant coming here.
I'm having difficulty
this
scanning the
classic
object.
scene.
It appears to be approximately 200 million kilometers in diameter.
That's a bit more than Earth's orbit. A full Dyson sphere. So they're enclosing a star at a distance where temperature is Earth-like and similar solar flux. This part is surprisingly grounded for sci-fi.
That's nearly as large as the...
Yeah. Okay, notice how he says, surprisingly grounded for sci-fi.
Earth's orbit around the sun.
So that figures out to over 500 million Earth surface areas for this thing.
Why didn't we detect this before now?
The object's enormous mass is causing a great deal of gravimetric interference.
No, a Dyson...
And this is what ticks me off about academics. One, yes, this is a scientific thing, but in order to make it, you're not going to be restricted to our level of physics.
The sphere consists of the stellar mass plus the massive structural mass of the sphere itself. You're not missing that gravitationally. It would be obvious by orbital mechanics and infrared signature.
Not if it's... Oh, I'll let it keep going, then I'm gonna rant.
You search for these in real life...
That might have prevented our sensors from detecting it before we dropped out of warp.
Mr. Data, could this be a Dyson sphere?
More like a Dyson sphere's final form. Dyson's original idea was a swarm of satellites. A solid sphere has no stable orbit around the star. Any offset, you're gonna have a collision. Plus, the thing's over 1,000 Earth masses. Gravity from the star is pulling it in, and centrifugal support does not work uniformly for a shell. The material strength required is orders of magnitude beyond steel and even other exotic sci-fi materials that you see in Star Trek.
In the 20th century, a physicist called Freeman Dyson postulated the theory that an enormous hollow sphere could be constructed around a star. This would have the advantage of harnessing all the radiant energy of that star.
That's correct, or about 10 trillion times current human energy use. That's a lot of nuclear power plants. However, if you capture all that energy, you must also radiate all that energy. Otherwise, the sphere is going to cook itself.
Any population living on the interior surface would have virtually inexhaustible sources of power.
Power is not going to be your limiting factor. Heat rejection and structure are. And if you're living on the inner surface, in a hollow sphere, gravity is going to cancel out, so they're going to be in 0G. Unless you rotate the thing with a period of a year, but that's going to create enormous structural stress.
Are you saying you think there are people living in there?
Possibly a great number of people, Commander. The interior surface area of a sphere this size is the equivalent of more than 250 million Class M planets.
That's reasonably close. But area is not your problem. Resource distribution, energy routing, and heat management are far bigger problems in space. And in typical Star Trek fashion, they never bring this up again.
Sensors?
Okay. The rant commences. First off, the structural issues that he pointed out. Presumably, this Dyson sphere was built by a civilization that is so much more advanced than what we see in Star Trek, within the Federation at least. They would no doubt have something like gravitational manipulation, which is something that Starfleet has, just on a massive scale. Manipulating gravity so that you can build your Dyson sphere out of something that isn't adamantium and unobtainium makes things plausible. You can still power those systems because you're getting a shit pile of power out of the sun. But that's going to alter the gravity mass of, or the observable gravity of the shell. Two, you have to motion lock that shell with the star as it moves through the universe. So that's another something that you might be offsetting the gravitational source or the gravitational signature with. And three, you got to keep people on the inside of the, or on the surface inside. So that's third layer of gravitational manipulation. So very well you could cloak or mask the entire mass of the star below something where Starfleet sensors would pick it up as, hey, there's a star here. Secondly, the heat rejection. You don't necessarily have to radiate the heat if you have some form of technology that you can efficiently direct the heat wherever you want it to. And then what you do is a little trick known as nucleosynthesis. So if you're a student of nuclear fusion, you know that stars generally take hydrogen and crush them under immense pressure until they fuse into helium, releasing energy. That's how stars work. And they can keep crushing elements, to release energy. It's usually less and less energy with every iteration as nuclear binding power or binding energy increases. So like you can, I think fusion, the basic fusion we know of goes up to just before iron. Once a star starts trying to fuse iron, it starts going into negative energy generation. It takes more energy to fuse atoms into iron than is generated by previous fusion events. So you can fuse up to, I think, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen are all in that range. Hydrogen and helium, of course. But once you get to iron, it starts taking more energy to fuse them than you can get out. So if I was running a Dyson sphere civilization, I would be dropping my heat rejection into trying to fuse iron and even heavier elements over trying to radiate all that energy. Because then you could be constantly generating more material, and you have the added benefit of you don't have to reject all this energy and allow your Dyson sphere to be detected through infrared. I think I'm gonna do. It's now in my list of things to do outside of streaming. I'm gonna start making or try to start making videos once I figure out how to do that out, and I'll post them up on YouTube. I'll make a little series of it. It's something things I've been thinking about for years that have always a little bugged me, but nobody seems to have come to the same conclusion. So now that I've discovered now that we do have the various wonderful tools, I think I'm going to start doing that. So that's enough for ranting for the moment. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll get back for some more Pragmata. I think we're still tromping through the... No, we beat the Terra Dome last time around. So I think we're going into some mines. But we'll see. Just give me a few minutes to get everything set up and get comfortable again, and we'll jump back to the moon. Okay, we're back. Let's see what mechanical horrors are in store for us this time.
What goodies did we bring back this time? We left 8 all by herself.
We promised her that we'd put an end to Edis. No time to mope. We gotta get moving.
Yeah. We'll stop Edis and rescue 8 no matter what. Oh, Hugh? Remember when I said you're useful?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
You're more than that. I can't really find the words, but I feel like we gotta stick together.
Always that so. Glad I live up to your expectations. We're in this together, kiddo. So hold on tight. Diana, have you ever had a dream?
I don't need sleep.
No. I mean, have you ever wanted something to come true?
Huh? Like a prediction? I make those all the time.
Look at you little daydreamer.
Ah, there it is. Oh no, I forgot to put the RC car away.
Come to think of it, how's that thing running? Batteries included?
Not sure. I thought it was charging from the floor. Like me.
Hold up. You charge from the floor?
The cradle's lined with energy and supports wireless charging. I think all the bots here use it to recharge.
Right. With this many bots around, I guess that kind of setup's a no-brainer.
Oh, good to know. Okay, that's not at all creepy, I'm afraid. Okay, what kind of upgrades?
There it is.
Huh?
I hope my flower is still okay. Plants from the Terra Dome would probably all be wilted by now.
The lunafilament plants that grow on their own, yeah? They're way too delicate. Wouldn't stand a chance growing in the shelter. Turns out REM flowers suit you just right.
I think so too.
Oh.
What's up, Hugh? Anything I can help you with?
If I ever need some help, I'll be sure to let you know.
Okay, back to upgrades. I've got a Pure Luna. Oh, got 2 more modes I can unlock. Or heat and. Okay, so.
There's something odd on this terminal.
Unlock strike mode. Okay. Open nodes turn into strike nodes that deal more damage when hacking enemies that are exposed. Gunfire will increase the damage of the next hack. Once the hack is complete, enemies will close their armor. And then combustion mode, right, increases their heat so that they will basically fall over faster. So I can either do more damage or knock them over. keep with offense mode. What's the difference between strike mode and... I think offense mode is probably better. Let's try combust mode next go. Oh, right.
All right. About time we hit those mines.
Do the Luna mines. Get rid of the photon laser. Yeah, it's got more... Ah. Got more ammunition, but... Yeah, I'll keep those going. Stick with pulse carbine. Switch to combust mode and add heat to the mix. And swap decode out for multi-hack. Yeah. Increase speed of cartridge and hyperfocus. Direct hits from enemies no longer reset the hacking matrix. Oh, I've got a bunch. Close quarters. Oh, cheap shot from the back. Precise shot. That was the time. Optimal performance. As much as I would love to use that without a health regen thing that's better than what I got, I probably can't utilize it as well. Performance boost. Increase hacking node duration by 20. And quick fix was the repair boost. Hyperfocus was keep things going when you get hit. And I think I'll stick with the survival stack. To the mines. The children crave the mines. I'm not going to come back until I got whatever it is to get through those red limb barriers.
Next up is the mainframe, right?
Yep. It should be in the Nexus Tower.
Any goodies? Doesn't look like it. Not very good mining units, I don't think. What's this? Lunum mine excavation status. Excavation complete, former mining zone. Excavation in progress, eastern sector, new mining zone. Note, access near Nexus Tower mainframe is restricted to authorized personnel only. Ensure compliance at all times. No. We shall not comply.
Environmental optimization sequence in progress. Entering low gravity environment.
Oh, fun. Moon gravity. The distance and airtime of jumps and thrusters is extended in reduced gravity of space. Hughes' overall movement speed is also slightly slower.
Please proceed with caution.
This is gonna take some getting used to.
Everything feels kind of floaty. Hugh, I can see the Nexus Tower.
So that's where Edis is. It's pretty far off. Wish we had a shuttle or something.
It can't quite jump all the way there. Goodies? Okay. One.
Tell me you got something.
I think it's a mod. Might be good to have. Let's go check it out.
Further down. Okay, that is a window.
The tower's right there. Why we gotta take the long way around?
Because game mechanics.
Nothing new, but ugh. Things sure feel different when the gravity shifts.
How is it different?
Well, my thrusters push us farther, but they're harder to control.
Seems like an upgrade to me.
I don't know if that would work.
I bet we could use those platforms to get across.
Use your thrusters and see if you can make it.
Oh, but there's limb stuff down there. Oh, wait, that's a window. Oh, no, it's not a window.
Just doing my part.
Equilibrium. Successful activating EC thrusters restores 10%. Ooh. That could be handy.
That can help you keep going, even if you get hit.
Boingy, boingy. I'm the moon bunny. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ah, there we go. And upgrade. Ooh, shiny. Homing missiles. Nice. An attack unit that fires multiple homing missiles which lock on to multiple enemies while charging. Multi-target capability makes it ideal for crowd control. And 12 shots. Slowest missiles I've ever seen, but yeah, swap it for the
Blast
shotgun.
away and watch those bombs kaboom!
Okay, that's a spider.
How are we gonna get over
That's
there?
another spider.
No idea. My thrusters alone won't cut it. Let's look for another way. Stop skittering around!
Here it comes! Look out!
Ah. Okay.
Move, you! I got him!
Guess it's my turn.
Here it comes! Look out!
It's on now. Take this!
The bluey. Hacking objects. Okay, why do I have that prompt?
Here it comes! Look out!
And dodge. Two of them.
Right on. Get some. Check. Take this. Guess that's that.
Okay. They're upgraded back there.
Sparkly clean.
Basis net. Yick. Doo-doo. Can I jump up all the way up there? Just a bit. Okay, maybe I gotta jump from there to there to there to up. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do. Oh, a big one. Okay, that's glass. Can't get in there. There's goodies back there. Maybe it's gonna be health. Oh, heat. Oh, okay. New minigame.
Container. Okay. I could do the trick.
Perfect.
Go up onto the tarp. To there. And boing. Oop. Yeah. Come on. There we go.
Warning. Unauthorized presence detected in the mining zone. Luna Digger. Halt mining protocol and remove these intruders.
Oh, bugger.
Hugh, something's coming.
What the? Look at the size of that worm!
Oh, fun.
So that's the Luna Digger, huh? Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare.
Okay. I'm gonna play Tremors with the Moonworm.
on the sand. I think it can detect your biorhythm through the soil. Hugh!
Ah! Jump! Move! Dodge! Fuck are you? Ah. Run, run, run. I'm running over here. Run, run, run. We're gonna take a run in fear. Yes, run in fear.
Couldn't have
That's
just
okay.
stuck with digging, could you?
I don't think it normally attacks humans.
Hopefully, Idas wants to protect internal integrity. Oh, fun. Recall. Excavation bot malfunction. To Arthur from Maria. In response to your inquiry regarding excavation bot safety, the R&D team provides the following statement. First, the model in question is equipped with a biometric ID system, and it is programmed to prioritize the avoidance of living beings above all else. Additionally, its reinforced exterior not only withstands operational impact, but also shields the unit from unintended electromagnetic interference and similar disruptions. During routine lunar operations, the risk is considered negligible. Maria Jones, Research and Development. So, that sucker's going to be a bitch to hack.
Thought these things were built to steer clear of people.
They are. But that system's now what's tracking us.
Guess we have Edis to thank for that, too.
Yeah! Overdrive protocol at the ready.
Ow. Oh, double shot. Okay. But that's how it's going to be?
Splitting the hatch. Move, Hugh!
Take that!
Let's heat things up. Hugh, now!
Oh, what do we got up here? Damaged cameras.
Heat bots up enough and they'll shut down.
Oh, I can put multiples of the same thing in. Handy. I'm running over here.
You got something?
Mm-hmm. There's REM data nearby. Let's take it back to the shelter.
Okay, I think I gotta go up and around and down and okay. Reload on my trusty homing device.
And it can hit multiple bots. Hugh! Missile spotted!
Ah, crap. Ow. Okay, got my campfire light.
Good job, kid.
Get ready!
Ah.
Right back at ya!
Ow, motherfucker.
Overdrive protocol on standby.
Back
You're not going down there for that limb. Please be health. Please be health. Stasis net gun. Bleh. Shelter? Yes, please.
Should we take a break?
What's that? Okay, safe routes in the Luna mines. Luna mines use Luna diggers and other large mining equipment for excavation. Mining zones are assigned each morning for your safety. Remain within approved areas at all times. Attention, if you've lost your way, stay near the facility perimeter or try contacting an administrator from your location. Reply, Lunar Digger gone berserk. Arthur to Mihai. Or to Arthur from Mihai. Johansson was suddenly attacked from behind. Brown said saw it happen and ran, but wasn't fast enough. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. I checked and they said the units have a biometric ID system, so even if it wrecked itself, it would never harm a human. And that system isn't working, or worse, it's been corrupted to target humans instead. Don't just leave this to IDAS, dig into the system yourself. So this started
We'll
probably
just
all
have
at
to
once.
make our way through the facility.
Guess we're taking the long way around.
Always carry an impact barrier. Although Luna Diggers have sensors to avoid humans, a tragic accident occurred recently. Following the latest sensor update, all systems are confirmed operational and work will continue as scheduled. Always carry impact barriers during on-site activities for safety. The magnetic field generated by an impact barrier is detected by Luna Digger sensors as an unextractable object, allowing you to temporarily ward them off. Should a Lunar Digger behave unexpectedly, activate your impact barrier without hesitation. And I suspect this is my impact barrier. Defense unit that deploys a barrier to block some enemies and projectiles for a limited time. The barrier does not deal damage. Okay, well.
It's nice having a barrier to keep us safe.
Let's just go give it some juice up in the bunker. Or the shelter. Home base.
We can stay here for a while, right?
Yeah, not tonight.
That
But
Luna Digger came out of nowhere.
cabin coin.
What's the point of a holographic fire anyway?
Looks fun.
Nice fire.
Okay, let's see what we can get out of the cabin with this coin. All right. Black that out. So, first thing to open up, red gate key.
Oh, you have quite the eye organ.
Okay, so the red house sector, or warehouse sector. And is that a bot thing that I'm unlocked? Or... we'll see. We will see. Simple inventory expanded. Oh right, homing missile and impact barrier.
Let's try it out.
And out of limb. But we got a pile of upgrade boxes. That will go into our primary weapon and defense. Okay, well, there's still quite a few things to unlock. Weapons primarily. Yeah, I still like what I've got set up here. Okay, yeah, I think that's the play. It's a storage expander, but I suspect it's behind that red limb. Why am I dropping so many frames tonight?
It's back!
Don't get excavated, okay?
We need to work on your jokes.
Yeah. Jump, 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 boost, boost, jump. Come on, pick me up, pick me up, pick me up. Aha! Screw you. Analog aggression. Increase weapon damage by 10, but hacking damage decreased by 10. Shoot. Bugger, 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 bugger.
Get to those buildings!
Easy for you to say. Right on. Now it's my turn.
Look, there's a mine here.
Maybe we can use it to trip up some bots.
Yeah, let's use it on the Luna Digger. Here. Stay away from those dust clouds.
Now it's my turn.
Stay away from those dust clouds.
Well, as much as I want to get that limb, I don't think I can take that thing out yet. Bugger me.
Here it comes! Look out!
I owe you. It's on now. Take this. You're going.
Shoot it where it's weak, dude! Jump, you!
Take this.
Another photon laser.
Right on.
Get ready!
Take this. Leave the shooting to me. Is that it?
Well, I guess photon laser's better than nothing. What the hell? To How from Joe. I think I heard something nasty going down in the cafeteria just now. Word around this cradle as the security team is about to thoroughly check everyone's devices and access logs. Better delete the game we snuck in before it blows up in our faces. Goodbye, glorious record of monster hunts. Still checking everyone feels extreme. Rumor has it someone tampered with Ida's admin privileges. Wonder if that's true. Rumor of a human-like android. That rumor about the human-like test androids being developed within the cradle seems to be true. Yesterday, while dropping off samples at Dr. Higgins' lab, I caught sight of a little girl in the back. There's no way a kid could be up here, unless I'm losing my mind and saw a ghost or something. But I think that's the android everyone's been talking about. Honestly, it feels wrong. These things are meant to be guinea pigs, so why create one in the image of a child? Reply, rumor of a human-like android. Hugh Hudson from How. Honestly, it feels wrong. Seriously? Don't get your panties in a bunch, man. The ban on lifelike androids only applies back on Earth. We don't have to worry about that here. Both the company and Dr. Higgins are aware of what's going on here. As long as this never reaches Earth, we're fine. Oh boy.
Hold on. Does this mean that someone's controlling Edis?
8 never told us that.
Well, if that's true, this may not end at Edis.
Ah, crumbs. Hey, why?
Sweet! We're making solid footing.
Containers are pretty useful, huh?
Okay, where are you, cabin? Oh. Why does this feel like it's going to be a suicide run?
What do we have here?
Oh.
Now maybe we can upgrade our stuff.
This was quite the cozy little space. Gift books. Gift books. I heard Toby from Excavation System Management is transferring out after that lunar digger sensor malfunction incident, and he's shifting to maintenance duty at the solar power plant. Nobody blames him for what happened, but I bet he must have felt pretty bad about it. I generated the REMs he gave me. His REM book collection was pretty massive. It wasn't just work stuff either. Apparently he has a surprising amount of romance novels too. It's hard to store, but I understand why people still want to keep physical media these days. At least that way there's no worry about AI snooping around and making nosy recommendations. You can't just decide what I'm going to like, okay? It's so annoying. That's exactly where I prefer to be holed up in my own little offline rooms. Aaron. Go away, go away.
Hugh, the entrance to the building is over there.
Is that a warehouse? Let's go find a way inside.
Well, there's goodies over here, so let's see if I can't get there.
Let's hurry back
cabin.
and get that to cabin. Hugh! Missile spotted! Right back at ya! Overdrive protocol activated.
Come on, spit him out. Ah, crap. Shoot balls, shoot balls, shoot balls. Yeah. Okay, that means I gotta run back out there.
Yes! Check. Take this!
Mate. Digital dominance. Increase hacking damage by 10%, but weapon damage decreased by 10%.
Use that if you want to prioritize hacking.
Why did I get all that limb? Want all that limb. Do. Oh, I can hack that thing. Oh, nope, now I can.
Good job, kid.
Overdrive protocol on standby. Get ready. Be careful.
I owe you one.
Come on.
Back off!
I hate it when I can't get enough depression on these things.
Guess that's that. Not like this!
I'll try hacking it.
Hurry!
Just in time.
I did it!
Oof. That was scary.
Stay away from those dust clouds! It's taking aim! Its sensors can track us, even from a distance.
Right on.
Get you! Now!
Take this!
Projectiles incoming!
Shit,
Overdrive
shit.
protocol at the ready.
Okay, what's shooting at me? Oh, frick that.
Incoming! Now we've got a way across.
Yeah. Didn't anyone think to print up some stairs around here?
Do into the. Okay, got all the goodies out there. Okay, good.
Okay. Where to next?
There's something up ahead.
Well, let's check it out.
To the shelter.
You okay?
Okay, more upgrades. Yeah, I like one extra bullet. More damage. Oh, no, I should save up my limb. Although, I should not save up my limb. The extra thruster is going to be handy in this section. Yeah, that's what I want. Oh, I got everything in crane control. Awesome. So I don't have to go back there. really that simple? No, of course not. Okay, let's go into this scary ass room. Yeah, get it all nice together. All right. Crap.
Take this! Guess it's my turn. Take this! Check. Take this!
Okay, next. Big buggers. Fuse you bastards.
Here it goes.
Ah, crap.
Right on. Oh,
Ah, crap.
How you like this? It's on now, Kid Can. Take this!
What?
Overdrive protocol initiate.
That's probably a mistake, but
Yeah, let's do this. Check. Take this!
okay, one down.
Take this! Take this!
Okay, next nasty. Ah, these bastards.
Its lasers warming up! Phew! Let's heat things up. Ah!
Right on! Now it's my turn. Check. Take this!
And down. Yeah.
Good job, kid.
Let them fight.
It's my turn. It's on now. Take this! Take this!
Ooh. Storage expander, nice.
Here.
Nom 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 nom. And Deanna's hacking gauge.
I was hoping we'd find this. Use this when you're ready for some heavy hacking.
Freeze. Okay, that one's clear. Wasn't there yeah. We'll just jump right back into here. And go give that cabin that coin since we've unlocked the warehouse. See what the new threads for Deanna are.
I'm gonna go play.
Okay, go play. Okay, that's bot data. Garden Keeper. Why do I need to know that? Ooh. Astro Classic. But I'm kind of digging the Ninja. Ooh, but another cartridge holder. Utility over drip, unfortunately.
Oh, you have quite the eye organ. Much appreciated.
Oh yeah, that thing.
What's this? Oh, message file. Don't need that right now.
Oh, the suits. They look just like yours.
Okay. New, I want multi-hack. Multi-hack. Infuse and Yeah, use expose. Oh. Leslie McTussleton. I gotta figure out how that moves. Lock. Or is it locked from... Ah. You gotta get up here.